Have you ever felt a void during those quiet nights, or wished for someone who would always be there for you without the drama of human relationships? Imagine having a companion that never argues, judges, or leaves your side. Sounds too good to be true, right? Well, what if I told you that this is no longer just a fantasy? Stay with us as we reveal the groundbreaking new footage of female love robot dolls, a revolutionary blend of technology and companionship that's taking the world by storm. You won't believe your eyes. Whenever you go to the movies or spend an evening alone on your balcony, do you ever think how nice and pleasant it would have been to have someone there to listen to your endless thoughts, or at least be there by your side? But then you recall your ex and realize you don't want the same arguments, misunderstandings, and betrayals. So you just push that thought out of your mind. What if we told you that you could be with someone in your life without worrying about arguments or any other kind of insecurities? What if you always had someone nearby who was willing to listen to you? We're not playing around or offering you false hope. We understand how lonely you are and wouldn't want you to spend the rest of your life that way. And that is why we are going to talk about technology in this video, which is going to make your whole life sorted. But for that, you need to follow us throughout the video. Yes, we are talking about the love dolls. But hold on, these are not your kids' typical plaything dolls. There is much more to these dolls than that. These dolls speak artificially and have a lifelike appearance. Most of these dolls are not robots. They frequently have excellent skin that is stretched over gel inlays and constructed of silicone or thermoplastic components, and have certain basic motor abilities, like the ability to turn their heads. They can lean heavily towards a stereotypical sexual figure, but other variations, including fantasy figures, are also available. The demand for these love dolls has increased since the pandemic hit due to COVID. People's feelings of loneliness from months of lockdown were exacerbated by COVID-19. The craving for human contact and intimate physical proximity increased as a result. People began hunting for substitutes and discovered love dolls. As more individuals come around to the idea of love dolls, the stigma surrounding them is currently ebbing. They are also getting more and more well-liked as our friends and members of our family. Considering the surge in the sale of love dolls, many businessmen are now considering this as a viable option to sell these love dolls rather than continuing their small business with no profits. During COVID-19, when the entire world was suffering through trauma, isolation, and loneliness, for many, love dolls were the rescue. And why won't it be when it has all the capabilities that make you feel that you have someone by your side? This is not something brand new that people are seeing globally for the first time. Similar dolls were found in ships abroad, where sailors who have been alone and without female contact for weeks or months would amuse themselves with them. They were referred to as the sailors' wives. They were purportedly referred to as trucker girls and were used by even truck drivers. Love dolls with silicone or thermoplastic elastomer skin and fixed or replaced orifices are currently available in several brothels and in private homes all over the world. Often at times, these love dolls are associated with single men, but perhaps that notion is not entirely true. Love is a pure feeling and cannot always be attributed to a woman or a woman, to a single man. The statistics suggest that these love dolls have been purchased by socially excluded people like couples, disabled people, parents of adult children, or anyone who is ready to experiment with something new. It's just absurd to assume that sex dolls are a final choice for loners. The use of dolls is becoming more widespread, with both men and women eager to put one in their bedroom. So you don't have to be socially awkward if you are considering buying this crazy solution, because you are not alone. On the other hand, there are people belonging to a different religion, one of which is Catholic, where clergymen are not allowed to get married. Some people who wish to engage in sexual intercourse, but are prohibited from doing so because of their tradition, or people with high sexual drives who are not content with only having sex with real people, could definitely consider love dolls as a viable option. It is a human tendency to develop an attachment with anything and everything that has a role to play in his life positively. The best example of it would be pets, who don't understand our language, and neither do we understand theirs. Still, they have the heart of every home. Similarly, it has been observed by a few studies that even without AI, humans develop deep attachments to technology. And all the love dolls are not even basically robots. So it completely makes sense why people are now readily drawn to them. Its demand is encouraging the manufacturers of love dolls to create more and more functions for it. Love doll producers are experimenting with natural language processing, cameras, and various kinds of sensors. Some systems have even been improved by computer chips and use of AI. It is impossible to find a person who is always available, can suit your sexual desires, etc. In such scenarios, love dolls are the best solution. Moreover, humans have a history of betraying one another. Only because we choose to cheat on or discard our partners in favor of others do many lovely relationships come to an end. Many people no longer want to date someone because of this. Due to negative experiences, they are hesitant to trust. Fortunately, love dolls are incapable of thinking or feeling. They are therefore unable to betray others or offend anyone's feelings. There will always be demands and expectations from a human companion. When one companion cannot live up to their lover's expectations, relationships end badly. Regular fights and commotions are always a facet of the situation. Love dolls have no brains and no life. They have no expectations or preferences from anyone. Furthermore, when you want to have romantic intercourse, love dolls never say no. Without harming or upsetting your love doll, you can also experiment and indulge in all your dreams. Therefore, having a doll instead of a real person may make your life easier and more enjoyable. Not only the person whose love language is physical touch, but other people, too, in general feel the need of someone in their life. They want that intimate touch at times, which is not possible because their spouse is abroad, but they are single, or they have been isolated for a long time now, maybe because of their looks or other absurd reasons. There are so many people out there who are fascinated by beauty and youth, but are bothered by their spouses or other people's lack of attractiveness. It is completely unfair for them to sacrifice the love and desire from their life, merely because they are incompetent to their partners or people around them. Love dolls can be the mechanism for them to fulfill the fantasy of their endless youth. And honestly, there is nothing wrong with having an artificial love partner. Well, there is another aspect to it as well. Experts contend that the popularity of love dolls may be the blame for Japan's dropping birth rate. One scientist even asserted that due to the country's obsession with silicone ladies, Japanese people have become an endangered species. It makes sense why men are so heavily dependent on these love dolls for their intimacy. While this is just a scenario in Japan, people worldwide are not so far from its use. So overall, lovers who have given up on their real-life partner, people who are desiring but have chosen a new object of desire, individuals who are lonely either temporarily or permanently and are unable to accept a replacement companion, and people who are fascinated by technology and who have found their ideal of love in the virtue of a fictitious world but have not yet found it in the real world but wish it were there, and tech-savvy individuals who have the ability or recognize the opportunity to design their perfect love servant in hardware and software. We have plenty more exciting content coming your way, so stay tuned. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.